From the backwoods they came, rough and ready for stardom, and they rode their van down the road to the big time, becoming perhaps the best-known brother act of their time. Why? Because they had something to say, and this was how they said it.
So our topic today is how to stuff a mouse into a beer bottle without breaking its bones.
Right.
So that they'll look at it and give you a case and not think you hosed them by deliberately stuffing one in, eh? It's like...
That, of course, the Mackenzie brothers, Rick Moranis and Dave Thomas from SCTV. Now, the twist about this is that Dave Thomas, brilliant as he is as a Mackenzie brother, had a lot of practice being a brother before he went into SCTV's Canadian Corner. You see, his younger brother, Ian, long before had become a star himself, is one of Canada's best and best-known singers-songwriters. They're busy guys, but of course, they dropped everything when they heard there was a chance that they might be able to appear together on Canada's favorite afternoon television program. Welcome, Ian Thomas.
Thank you. It's nice to
big
be on
shoulders.
this television program.
Thank you.
Dave Thomas, slightly more natural
here.
shoulders.
I don't know if any of you... I couldn't find any shoe polish, and so what I did was I'd use Pledge on my shoes, and it works just as well. So if you're in a jam sometime, you got to get somewhere.
Plus, it has that nice lemon scent, too, at the same time.
Yeah, so you feel like
big
you're
plus.
walking through a forest.
Innovation is something that came naturally in your family and probably would happen around the dinner table. You would sit around and trade tips like this.
Oh, no point in this answering.
Yes. That was an interrogative.
Yes, it's true.
Okay. Because your parents were fun.
Yes.
Yes, they were.
Especially your mom.
Yes, our mother was fun, Peter. She made us the fun guys that we are today.
Did she work a little harder on you because you're more known as fun than perhaps Ian, who has his moody side as a songwriter?
Well, if you'd seen me and Doug Bassett in the hall a couple minutes ago, you'd say I was the moody guy, but, you know, I guess...
Well, whatever. You came out as special guys, and we're real happy
We're very
you came
special, and we're glad to be that way.
Okay. But you know, the problem with doing a show like this for me, who really, I'm just here to seek information, not stardom, I often talk to people, and they won't tell me things that they will tell me away from the camera.
Oh.
Like, I want to know what you think of him. I want to know what you think of him.
Uh-oh.
But we figured out a way to get around it, didn't we? And I've got a little opportunity right now to offer a little bit of videotype information on what's good about Dave Thomas from Ian Thomas, and perhaps, maybe later, vice versa.
David is perhaps one of the universe's most talented individuals. Brilliant man. He, as a matter of fact, designed this lapelier that I'm speaking into at this moment. Part B of the question that was asked of me was, what do I hate the most about my brother David? Apart from the weird sort of women's clothing thing, nothing. Absolutely nothing. There's nothing in that man that there's not 1 inch of that man I could possibly hate.
We tried to dig some dirt, and we couldn't do it. He thinks you are the greatest. Does that make you feel pretty good that he doesn't say this in public, but also in private?
Yeah, it does. It really does. I'm going to give him money after this.
But as they say, the penny has to drop, doesn't it? And perhaps it's time for turnabout?
So you hosed me and yours, did you?
Yeah, I did, man. I'm sorry.
I take everything back I said.
I took sodium pentothal before I did it, too.
Sodium pentothal. What, do you think this is fair, by the way? I mean, should we, or do you want us to stop the interview right now?
I just thought it was fun. I had a wonderful time in the lobby. How about you?
Yes.
Okay, let's see what happened in the lobby as Dave Thomas was asked the same question.
What I like best about my little brother is that he is my little brother, and that I am 2 years older than him, so I can lord it over him and boss him around. And I plan to keep doing that till we're really old, like in our 80s or something. Of course, what I like least about my little brother is that he's 2 years younger than me, and he lords it over me, and that he's going to obey me and do what I say till we're old, and perhaps even in our 80s. Yeah, that's it, our 80s, if we live that long.
Let's just pray you will. Now, this is a sort of a philosophical balance in your observation, which
Our
is...
father is a philosopher.
That's right. It's not incongruous. Teaches philosophy at, what they call it, Mac?
Yeah.
McMaster
That'd be the
University.
short handle for it, yeah. Matt.
And did he tell you each see the other side of the question, see the other brother's problems as you were growing up?
No, he was more do-as-you're-told type dad, you know? Sort of like a truck driver. The fact that he was a philosopher was just a coincidence. But...
You don't see my side of the argument. Here's the belt. Real intellectual.
So
now he's at Mac.
Now he's at Mac. So when you got away from home, it was time to perhaps act up and out?
I think so. If he had been more fair, he might have ended up at Oxford or something. But no, he's at Mac.
Well, he got into show business before me.
That's
Even
right.
though I'm older, I was more conservative. I thought I'd let someone else try it first in case it was too scary.
One of the great hit singles of all time, Painted Ladies. Can you sing us a few bars, Dave? Apparently you can do what he can do.
Ooh, feeling fine, mama.
Once
Painted
again,
ladies in a bottle.
You can see the philosophical undertones in that lyric, too.
You're not suggesting that Ian's a painted... No.
No, a painted lady? That's real unpopular these days, I guess.
But that was exciting. Was it exciting to have, or was it threatening a bit to have a younger brother sort of shooting up the charts? And
No, I was proud of him. I remember I saw him one time, he played at a concert with the association. I was sitting in the very front row, and he got a standing ovation, and the association guys came up and said, this is the best vocal group we've ever heard. Later on, when I got into the business, I found out that if your opening act wipes you out, it's good to go up and put your arm around them. I knew what was going on, but then I thought, gee, what a nice thing for them to do.
Now, I have seen Ian work with you. In fact, he joined the Mackenzie Brothers at one time.
Yeah.
They say, in fact, that Ian can do most of the voices that you can do.
Yes,
And that
you can.
I steal most of Dave's material. And I write the rest of his stuff.
We only had two people on that set, Ian Thomas and Tony Bennett. They're the only ones that were ever allowed on the set. And there's a relation between them, but I haven't figured it out yet.
We won't ask you who was best. I'm curious, did you ever get up on stage when Ian was out with his band and in front of cheering crowds and just slip in and sing background vocals in the same way he might do background comedy?
God, no, that would scare the hell out of me. I would never do that.
Live you don't like.
You know, well, I'd never remember the lyrics, so there'd be like a voice in the background you hear going, na, na, na. So, no, I wouldn't do that.
But you got a chance to make a video, and we're going to show a little bit of an Ian Thomas video on a song called Harmony, which I think expresses a little something about what we're doing here.
Okay.
And show what you can do when there's not a crowd around.
A vote for harmony.
Good music from an album called...
Add Water, it was called.
All right, and Stir, and it's
See how
stirred
he
it up
gets
there.
to look good in his video, and they put like mud and junk all over my face? I think there's a story there, folks.
But good fun, eh?
Yeah.
And you like going out and doing comedy? Is that like the pressure's off? I can just go and...
I think Dave and I really enjoyed doing that sort of stuff a lot as kids in bed. You know, we'd be lying in bed trying to entertain each other.
Did you
In
share...
different beds.
Did you... You shared a room and there'd be little volleys of chatter going back and forth between the...
We shared a room because we didn't have much money.
Yeah.
And there were all 129 of us in one room. It was rough.
Yeah.
We had it tough, didn't we, Dave?
Yeah, we did. I used to tell him there were bears in the room when he was a little kid, and I remember I used to say, "There's bears. They're coming in. They're coming in." And he was like 2 years younger. Wah, wah. And then one night, my father was taking us up to bed, and Ian wouldn't go upstairs. And he said, "Well, why won't you go upstairs?" And Ian said, "Because there's bears up there." And Dad said, "Who told you that?" And he said, "Dave did." And my dad turned and looked at me, and I had that like cartoon grin with the teeth, you know, like. Hey, me?
Obviously, Mom was where the warmth and humanity came from initially, right?
That's right.
She's a special lady?
Very much so. And I'm glad we're covering them because usually in articles that we've, either Dave or I have been interviewed, we always mention Mom, but it seems there's a bunch of chauvinist pig journalists out there that never mention my mother. And she's always on the phone. I read the article there. You've got a father, but according to this article, you've got no mom.
They're from over Ulm, as it were?
Oh, yeah.
Mom's
they
Louise
really-
Scott.
Yeah. She says she's completely lost her dialect, but
So she
We don't
wouldn't be,
think so.
being a Scot, not too impressed by big selling records and hit TV series and that kind of thing? Or...
Oh, I think, she quite delights in it. She just, if I was a wee bit younger, I'd like to try this myself.
that's true. That's true.
So they're pretty proud of you. And you go home, are there still family dinners where you can all get around now with your wives?
We don't
and kids?
speak anymore. Yeah.
Yeah,
there are. Yes.
that really bummed everyone out, that question.
Oh, those brothers eat. Oh.
Well, a final word to other families. What should they be doing at the dinner table if they want to turn out as well as you guys do?
Well, I think it's good to force your kids to stay and eat their food, because then if they're not going to eat it, they'll try to find ways to amuse themselves, and who knows, they might get into show business.
And it should be a well-balanced diet.
Okay. You guys read this program to a T. Thank you so much for coming down today.
Thanks for having me.
Well, please come again. And when we return, a family of another kind as we meet the Racing Andretti family.
I dropped the insect repellent.
Oh, did you find it?
Helen,
No, not now.